Okay. And also the class is being recorded as usual. And my name is Dr. Sameh, and this is EA300B, the summer semester, and this is the 7th class in summer, right? Okay, so before I pressed the recording button, I was talking about the fact that you guys have the midterm tomorrow, and by now you are most probably ready for the exam in terms of preparation. So how far did you go with the preparation for the midterm exam? Spoke about
Wh-
the format, and I also sent you like a couple of videos that address the different parts of the the material before the midterm revision. It was revision 1 and 2, right? I'm hopeful that you have gone through them. Okay, somebody wanted to say something. Come to the mic.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, doctor. My name is Nawaf. How are
I
you,
know.
doctor?
Alhamdulillah.
والله I need a lot of materials to study for.
Al-
The stories, even though they are short, but got lots of idea,
Mm.
lots of perspective. So yeah, it's a lot, but trust the process.
Inshallah, you'll manage. Remember, guys, you're graduating. This is your final year, and this is your last semester. So
I
we're
have a question,
expecting,
doctor, if you may.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you
mm,
asked the essay to be a minimum of 2.5 page, right?
yes.
So my thoughts or yeah, my point of view about the novel, can it be in paragraph or in the conclusion?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yes, my thoughts about the story or about the specific notes that was asked in the question. Should it be in full paragraph or in the conclusion?
You're writing an academic essay,
Yeah.
and academic essays have introductions and they also have conclusions, and in the middle, you develop the idea. You start an argument and you pursue it throughout the body paragraphs. So it's essay, I mean, it's not only the information because we know the information, it's about how you manipulate the information to give us, uh, you know, fresh ideas, your ability to synthesize ideas that you have been processing for so long, you put them together depending on what the topic is and what the question asks, and you come up with something decent and fresh that under no circumstances will be under 2 pages and a half.
One
From
last question, doctor.
experience, let me finish my line of
Okay,
thought.
sorry.
That's fine. Again, what do I look for? Me or any other teacher for that matter? I look for comprehensiveness, I look for clarity, and I look for relevance. What do I mean by this? Comprehensiveness means that I give you a question that has a number of aspects. Okay. So you need to address those aspects. You need not to overlook one or two or ignore one or two. You have to kind of cover all the aspects that I want you to cover. Okay. This is comprehensiveness, شمولية. You have to be comprehensive, شامل, covering all the aspects of the question. The second thing, you need to be relevant. What do I mean by relevance? Relevance means that I don't ask you to write about King Abdulaziz University and you end up writing about King Saud University, for example. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So relevance is very important. You can write very beautifully, but you are off mark. Off mark means that you're not addressing the question. You have set your own question and you're going about answering it. So you need to remember that we are the ones who set the questions, not you. So this is what we mean by relevance. So relevance is very important. So we spoke about comprehensiveness, relevance, and clarity. Clarity, you need to be clear. You shouldn't be contradicting yourself. You should have a line of thought and you're arguing for or against it in a coherent way. في تماسك في الكلام. مفيش تناقض. مفيش كلمة من الشرق وكلمة من الغرب. Right? This is what we're after. And again, in order to give your answer credibility, it has to be based on the novel, if it's a novel, or the picture book that we're giving you, which means that you need to provide examples, an illustration from the picture book if it's a picture book, or the novel if it's a novel. So these are the things that we need from you, and if you set your mind, you put your head to them, you will not, under any circumstances, you will not write less than two pages and a half, and perhaps three. And okay, so I don't want you to be obsessed with this idea of how long or how short, but I'm telling you from our experience, if you want to get the maximum mark possible, you have to follow these guidelines. If you follow them, we have seen over the years that those who follow them uh, um, do not write less than two pages and a half and three pages. This is as far as the long question is concerned, because remember, we have two parts to the exam. One part is the short answer questions, and the other part is the long answer question, which is the essay. Okay. So in this part of the exam, which is the long part, you normally have two questions and you only answer one of them. You write only one long essay. So what's our definition of one long essay from our experience? I haven't seen a long essay that is one page long. No, this is not sufficient. It doesn't cover everything. You can write, of course, an essay that is like a page long, but it means that you're missing out on a lot of things. Okay, this is the long answer question. Let's move to the short answer question. And I also said that in order for your answer, the short answer, to be full, it has to be not less than half a page. So which means that if you write a couple of lines or even a paragraph, that wouldn't be enough. Again, because you have to be clear, because you have to be relevant, because you have to be comprehensive, and you have to provide examples. You cannot do all of that in a couple of sentences or in a paragraph that is short. So that's why we're saying half a page is ideal. You can write more, but of course, you're not going to end up writing an essay because it's a short answer, an essay that is 2 or 3 pages. No, we don't want that in the short answer part. But uh, in the same uh, breath, we don't want you to write a very limited answer, an answer that doesn't say anything about you, whether you know or you don't know. I'm hopeful that this is clear enough.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
go
is
ahead.
clear.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Yes, my
no.
last question is, I have done it before, but I know that every doctor and teacher has his own way. So what if my
No,
argument
no, no.
is,
Now this is uniform among teachers. No, what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, I know,
saying
but everyone
is
is asked
almost
for something.
scientific. See? No, no. Okay? Because the
Okay.
exam, what we normally do is when the exam is over, we as teachers come together, whoever teaches the course, we come together and we agree on the guidelines. So you wouldn't have any discrepancies or disparities between teachers. So
Cool.
if it's a normal semester, you would have more than one teacher, right? More than one
Yeah.
session. So you would have Dr. Mohsen, Dr. Arwa, and myself. We sit together So if you study with one of them, so if you in the midterm you get 15, Dr. Mohsen is going to give you 15, Dr. Arwa is going to give you 15 or 20. It depends on what you're doing. So this is the guidelines that I'm giving you is very scientific. So we don't have this disparity or discrepancy.
No,
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
My question is about the question itself. What if my argument is conflicts with the writer's argument or ideas, and I write it here 100% conflict with it, but at the end of the day, it's my thoughts, يعني my idea. What do you think
Okay.
of it?
Well, normally for a piece of work to be good, you don't hear much of the voice of the writer. The writer is normally neutral. He gives you, he or she for that matter, gives you the scenarios and the situations, and he or she leaves you to come up with your own assessment or judgment. You may be, I mean, your ideas may clash with the ideas of critics and scholars, which is fine. Okay, but normally your ideas do not conflict with those of the author because the author, if he is or if he or she is a good author, he doesn't tell, he shows. And there is obviously a difference between showing and telling. So there is nothing is wrong with you having your independent point of view, as long as you can prove it. Prove it, of course, through examples and further argument and all those kinds of things. Is that clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Nagwa?
Yes, Doctor, I have a question regarding this matter. In the other side of the truth, in one of the essays, especially Naidu's biography, she states that her main purpose of writing this or of writing the other side of the truth is not to instruct the readers or the audience. However, we have several evidence that no, it does actually instruct the readers in an indirect way. So in this case, can we like state both things that the author believes that it does not instruct, but there is evidence from the text, and I support it that it does instruct the readers?
Well, it's not instructing in the narrow sense of the word in Nagwa. Yani, there has to be no author is innocent. Everyone has an agenda, and I'm not using the word agenda in a negative way. Of course, she instructs, but if she turns her piece of work into a pulpit in which she is preaching, you wouldn't like that at all because nobody likes preaching. Do this and don't do that. That's why this idea of amusement, this idea of entertainment comes. So I entertain you, but I, in the middle of this entertainment, I give you messages. And I make sure that those messages are not direct because you're not going to like it. Because this is not the main purpose of art to give you messages the way that people in the church or in the mosque give you messages. Are you getting me? Of course, she has an agenda. Of course, she wants to change mindsets. Of course, she wants to remember what we said. She wants to alert her white readers to the fact that there are other people in other parts of the world who are suffering, who have little access, if they have access at all, to fresh water, to education, to food. This is what she referred to as cultural literacy. Didn't we talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's done, but it's done in a very a professional way, I would say. She was walking on eggshells doing it because, again, um, she doesn't want to appear to you as a preacher or somebody who is on a pulpit and is giving a sermon or something. Okay?
Got it. Thank you, Doctor.
She does have a message, of course, like all the writers. Writers don't write for the sake of writing. Of course, we have a school which is art for art's sake, but obviously, with the so many issues that we have in society, a teacher cannot hide behind this banner and say, no, I'm writing for the sake. No, we would even accuse him or her of being not socially committed. They have to have a message. Yeah, questions? I like this debate that we're having. I like this idea. If anything, it shows that people are reading, people are engaged with the material, and this is obviously good news. Again, let me stress the fact that uh, um, so tomorrow has to be your lucky day. We're not playing a match where sometimes a player would say, no, it's not my lucky day. This is my off day and stuff like that. No, you have trained well, you have worked so hard, and you have so much material that you can use and manipulate in the exam. So the idea of somebody, and this is what I have seen also over the years, some people may reduce the whole exam in a page. How? I don't know. A page or perhaps two pages, and perhaps they come after the exam and they say, I did well. So how did you do well if you haven't even covered one question? So again, you need to write, you need to trust that you have done enough and you have enough material in your mind that you can use in the exam. These are literature exams, which means that we're not giving you chemical equations or mathematical, I don't know what, so you know or you don't know. This is literature. So use the material that you have, manipulate it so that you come up with ideas. Okay, with ideas, there is nothing wrong and there is nothing right. It's literature. You write, be relevant and comprehensive, and you're on your way towards scoring the best يعني score possible, inshallah. Again,
Doctor,
somebody said that the material is too much and the stories, and I'm totally against that because if you compare EA300B to, say, EA300A or even A230A, EA300B is a short and sweet course where um, I mean, again, the picture books are not long for you to kind of read them, perhaps more than once. And the idea of having a different way of analyzing stuff, the focus on the picture can be very interesting for people who are starting this. So you have every reason to like the course. And if you like something, you break it down to its basic components and you come up with very interesting ideas. So the course is short and sweet, I promise you. Yeah, Mariam.
يعطيك العافية دكتور. دكتور, um, يعني should we have a close reading about or depends on the other side of the other side of the truth?
Well, in the previous exams, I think I have seen that in the perhaps in the last semester. I don't remember exactly because yeah. It can be like a picture book where you normally have, of course, because it's a picture book, you can have an image, or it can be the only other option because it's zero or one. So if you don't have picture books, of course, you have the other side of truth.
Yes, doctor, but on the
Again,
other side of the truth,
what is interesting about having a passage from the other side of truth is that our approach is different because we give you the context. We tell you from where in the novel the extract is from. We even give you the title. All you need is to make the passage that you're reading work for you. You perhaps talk more about it, you set it in its further context, and you talk about the significance of what is happening. So having a passage from from the other side of truth is good news for people who know how to handle close readings. And again, close readings come in the long essay part, which means that if you write half a page, this is not acceptable. If you write a page, this is not acceptable either, because it it happens or takes place in the long essay part, which means that you write a whole essay. You were saying something, Mary.
Yes, doctor. There is a message from her uncle, right? And the other
Mm,
side of the truth. How can
okay.
I, يعني, what's the idea that can I extend or expand of it? This يعني, message or
So he's telling her what he is. Whoa.
يعني, what's the idea? Can I, يعني, I wrote an essay about her uncle message for her.
Okay, I don't know what the passage, because obviously there is correspondence between the two.
Mm.
I'm sure he is perhaps trying to raise her morale. He is talking about the absent father. He is reassuring her that everything will be all right. He is praising her for whatever she does. I don't know what um, the passage is
Okay, doctor.
specifically about. But
Because
again, what I'm saying is that it's easy to talk about passages and to attempt close reading for passages because we give you where it is from, because we tell you what the theme or the topic is about. All you need is to analyze the passage and perhaps talk more about it, when and how and stuff like that, and then talk about the significance. I mean, you expand the idea and talk about the theme and tie things together.
Doctor,
See?
if I may,
Okay, go ahead.
like we consider the writer doesn't know anything about the story. So when we cover it, we mention the story at first and then illustrate our ideas and the theme and about everything in the story in order for it to be long.
No. So do you think I need to know what the story is or
No,
what?
I know you
Mm,
know, but
mm.
to expand the story, there is no way to just write about specific thing. We have to mention a lot of things in order for the story to be long. This my
What
question.
story? What story?
Sorry, the novel, The Other Side of Truth,
No,
or
you
the picture book.
if you no if you're talking about a close reading question,
Yeah,
you don't have to retell the story, and if you retell the story, you retell it in a couple of lines.
yeah,
You don't
that's my
spend
question. Only in
you
like
don't
one
spend the rest
paragraph or
of your
something.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
make
that's my
it,
question. Yeah.
but in and you write it in such a way so that it is integrated in the fabric of your answer, right?
Yeah, I get
So
it,
you
doctor. Yeah, that's my
mm,
question.
mm,
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Okay.
mm. Again, so what happens if for some reason um I don't know when this some people may go blank. Would I recommend that you leave the pages blank? Oh, yeah, I give the stories. But of course, you're not going to get the marks that other people who are analyzing, who are doing this and that, the same. But I mean, I am totally against the idea of leaving questions blank because you think that you don't know or you don't understand. Okay? Again, if
So,
you
doctor,
retell, you
in terms,
wait.
in, sorry.
if you retell the story because you have nothing else to do, and because you're under the impression that you you're going blank, you have nothing to say. Of course, we're going to give you a mark for that, but of course, it's not going to be the mark that we're giving for somebody who remembers everything, who has processed everything, who knows what he or she is writing about.
In terms of the critics, should we elicit them all or just cover or whatever support the analysis of our narration?
Obviously, you're answering yourself. It's the second option. Of course, you are. That's why I'm saying you have to be relevant. Okay, it's not because you have memorized all the critics that you need to put them whether they are relevant or not. So you use critics as long as they are relevant to what you're talking about. So if you have like 4 or 5 critics commenting on the other side of truth, I'm sure that 1 or 2 are relevant and the others are talking about something else. So you need to be relevant. You don't say all that you have because you have memorized or you have studied them. You need to be, again, comprehensive, but in a sensible way. You need to be
Final
relevant.
question, Doctor, about the handwriting,
Mm.
because the one who could, I mean, read my writing is just only Dr. Muhsin. I don't know, because I know my writing is bad. My hand is bad in writing, but I'm doing my best in the exam. But sometimes I get pressures and the ideas come to my mind. I write fast, and sometimes my writing becomes silly. So could you relate that, Doctor? Or if it's difficult, I'll do my best.
Yeah, do your best and hope for the best. But if you write half a page for an answer that is 2 pages and half long or 3 pages, you don't come to me and say, I'm sorry, my handwriting. That has nothing to do with your handwriting, obviously. It
Okay, no,
has
no, I'll
more to
surprise you,
do with
Doctor. Believe
length.
me, I'm
Yeah.
prepared. I'm unprepared.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, Nagwa.
Doctor, I have 2 questions. My first
Hmm.
question is about Peter Rabbit and like the implicit and explicit messages. Like the explicit message is clear about obedience and the mother instructing her child to obey her and the consequences of disobedience. But what can I consider as implicit messages? Because I feel like I know all of the messages, but trying to separate them is a bit confusing to me.
It's not implicit messages. It's what we're having are diverse interpretations, Yanagwa. People come up with different interpretation. It depends on how they see it. It depends on your background. Remember, I told you that we people come from different contexts. I may think of it as this kind of rebellion. We even spoke about colonized and colonizer relation. This is not far or extreme, but this is how I see it. So this is not like an implicit math. This is my interpretation, which may clash with what you have in mind. What makes it even hard is that you find the writer or the author neutral. You don't really know, ambivalent to say the least. Ambivalent, yani, you don't really know whether she is kind of promoting obedience, telling kids and other people, look, this is what is awaiting you if you think of rebellion or if you think of disobeying your parents. You don't really know whether this is what she has in mind or the other way around. She believes that Mac Ruger is a figure of authority that people should disobey because he is presented as gigantic, as tyrannical, as dictatorial, and nobody obviously loves dictatorships, right? So it depends. I mean, if you're asked to give the different interpretations, obviously you're going to talk about all of them. If you're asked to give your opinion, so you follow a certain line, whether you think this is promoting obedience or promoting rebellion. And remember that we always have this polarization over what is it that Peter stands for? Is he a curious child or like a rebellious kind of child also? So again, the meaning is up for grabs. As long as you have a line of thought and you're following it, you're consolidating it with the examples and illustrations, you're doing a good job.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Right. I don't want to revisit things and I confuse you, perhaps. We always come up with new ideas. So I want to restrict it to the questions that you may have in mind. Again, questions arise when people prepare and study. I don't know, judging from the number of people who are acting and the acting, we don't have many people. Are you halfway through? You haven't started? And if you haven't, when do you think you will? Because the exam is only tomorrow. Anyway, I'm stressing the fact that people have to write, and that people have to write sensibly, and people should follow the guidelines. Half a page for short answers, for every short answer, and 2 pages and a half, or perhaps more for the long essay. If you choose to write a close reading question, whether it's a picture or a passage, we make life easy for you by giving you the context. All you need is to elaborate, expand on the ideas that you have in the passage or the picture, and you tie it in with other things. With picture books, I think with picture books it would be if you have like a passage. I'm sorry, if you have an image, it's even if you ask me, it's harder than having a passage that has words that can tell you, because with the picture, you need to kind of crack the codes, which could be colors, could be intertextuality involved, could be class disparities that is reflected in how the characters are dressed in Voices in the Park, for example. So with images, if you are going to attempt a close reading of an image, you you can never stop. It can be so many things. And again, tie those small details, whether they are colors or changing of seasons or the characters drawn in a certain area, tie this to the bigger picture. Okay?
Doctor, also the emotion in the character?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it depends on how the characters are presented to you, whether they are close and you can see their facial expressions, whether they are upset, happy. Uh, um, yeah, of course. Yeah, all these things come together and they form a totality. Hmm. Tell
Dr.
me,
Sam, sorry to ask, are you in Saudi or abroad?
what do you think?
Because I took class before with you. You were, I think, in South Africa or something, long time ago.
I never leave Saudi Arabia, I promise you.
Really? It was like I don't know. Maybe it
No,
was background. Yeah.
no, I'm in Jeddah. I'm Jeddah now.
Dr. Samah,
Hi.
I have a
No way.
question, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, so as English literature students, we are required and encouraged to يعني, build our own argument. What if is my argument about the book itself, and why is it categorized for children? For example, the other side of truth. I think and I believe it's not yani, suitable for children. Can I write this in the essay?
Yeah, if it's relevant.
Yeah, if it
If
is relevant
are
about the
we
specific.
asking if we ask you about this, of course you give your opinion. But if it's unsolicited means we didn't ask you for that.
Mhm.
That would make your answer irrelevant, right?
Yeah, but the question, yani, if the question is related to the book, my answer would be in general related to the book itself.
That's fine. That's fine. No problem.
Okay, cool.
Doctor,
Mm.
I have a question, please. Doctor, if when I studied, I noticed something that most the critics almost have the same idea. When we write about each story, uh, do do we write about them as a whole, or should we argue critic ideas?
Yeah, if you're saying that they are allied in their um, approach, I mean they think alike the same. I don't know because I don't know. I haven't seen um, two critics talking about the self same idea across the board. Every critic has something to say, which is obviously different from what other people are saying. Every critic is addressing a certain aspect. Again, like I said, when you deal with critics, you only cite critics that are relevant to the question. In, for example, the other in what in the Tale of Peter Rabbit, we have so many critics. Does it mean that we use them even if the question does not require that? The answer is no. You only cite the critic that would add to your answer, that is relevant to the question. And of course, using critics in your answers would enhance the quality of your answer. Yeah, of course, we do encourage people to use what critics are saying, but in a sensible way. Okay, you don't use all of them because you think that all of them are relevant, because not all of them are relevant to a question. Hmm?
Okay.
Any more questions? Right. I leave you. I think most of you still have a lot to cover. And if you have any questions, you can always ask on the WhatsApp group. Um, Again, it's 3 works that we're having in the midterm exam. The Tale of Peter Rabbit, Voices in the Park, and uh, The Other Side of Truth. Again, giving examples and illustrations from the different works is very important. Developing arguments, being sensible, being comprehensive, being clear and relevant are what we are asking for. I'm hopeful that we're not asking, you know, too much. What else do I want to tell you? Um, yeah, this is the end of it. Let me just make a quick announcement. I sent the group an ad about a course that we do every summer. It's a subsidized course. It's a TEFL course, and we know that you're graduating, and some of you may consider teaching as a career. If I would like you to read the announcement, and if you think it's teaching is what you want to do, I think the course can be for you. I teach the course myself, and it has been met with يعني, a measure of success over the past few years. We have done it last year and the year before, and from the testimonials of, I mean, actually, the testimonials of trainees like you that we thought of kind of starting it again. If you think you want, I mean, I left an email. You can send me an email expressing interest in the course, and we go from there, inshallah. Thank
Doctor,
you
one
so
question.
much. Yeah, go ahead.
Doctor, is there a certificate for the course?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, Nagwa, go ahead.
Doctor, I just want to ask, will you have a lecture tomorrow?
Tomorrow, what time is our class?
It's 2, and we finish our exam at 2:30.
لا مش هينفع كده. Then they will collide, right? So
Yeah.
let's think of like okay. So if other people have like other exams, for the rest of the week, we can like call it a week and start next week. If people are free, we can reschedule tomorrow's class. So do we have people who have other exams this week other than tomorrow's exam?
Yes, I have
Yes, I
doctor.
have.
طيب خلاص يبقى tomorrow إن شاء الله. No, we're not giving a class tomorrow, inshallah. We're giving a class on Monday. Is it Monday? Is it Monday today? Yes. Right. Clear?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay,
Clear,
doctor.
doctor.
Clear, doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Yes, go ahead.
will you be with us in the exam tomorrow in the university?
But I'm here in Jeddah, not in Dammam or Riyadh. Yes, of course.
Yes, I know, doctor. Thank you.
I'll be here, inshallah. Yeah. I wish you all the best, and I
دكتور
would like you to, yeah, go ahead.
سوري والله أنا نسيت إنه في سؤال بدي أسألك إياه.
Sal.
دكتور in Voices in the Park in يعني in each say that يعني study they talk about the hat, but I didn't find the explanation or answer about يعني what about the hat and what the problem with the hat. They told there's a big hat in the first and that's refer or symbolize what
The hat,
symbolize what. Yeah,
the hat of the mother or what?
yeah, the
Let's
mother,
see.
the big hat is
Yeah.
filled in the page.
I don't know, but we need to look at the color of the hat, see whether the hat reflects well. If we can compare it with other people wearing hats, I don't know whether the father is also wearing a hat. I'm sure there is going to be a difference. Again, it's look at the color, and again look at how good quality the hat is.
Mm.
Other than that, yeah, it doesn't
I
amount to
believe
much.
doctor she asked about the hat because it's almost in every picture.
Yes.
Yeah, because in every picture, because the woman is pictured in every picture, even if she is not the voice who is speaking or telling the story, unless somebody else can give us their
I can,
interpretation.
doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe throughout my study the hat reflects to the how the mother is controlling her son. So that's why it is almost everywhere in every picture, even as in a shape like a tree. So that's why it is almost everywhere.
You mean the hat is symbolic of the authority of the mother?
Yeah,
Well, that's fine.
it
I
might
don't
be
know.
true, it might not, but يعني من
Mm.
خلال دراستي وبحثي هذا اللي شفته عنها وهذا أقرب شيء للحقيقة لها.
Doctor,
ماشي
may I?
ماشي okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I think it also reflects the mother pride because the appearance of the hat comes more than one in the text. So this, it represents the social authority for the mother, her pride, um, and I think it's contrast between the mother and the father. She belong to the high class. I think it also represents these things.
Yeah, it can be. It can be like a symbol of distinction because obviously it's because she belongs to a high class. The kind of clothes that she's wearing obviously reflect that, and obviously um, it's a refined kind of hat. And again, it can be like a symbolic of the authority that this mother wields and have. Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's a good interpretation. Hmm. Right. Again, like I said, I'll be around if you need any help, if you need any clarification, you can always ask on the WhatsApp group. Again, all the not slides, all the we have recordings and videos from the past semesters. You can always use them. I sent them all to you, and you have the YouTube channel, mine. You can always access it for more, inshallah. Okay, so on this note and with this item, we'll come to the end of today's MTA revision. And I'll see you, inshallah, next week. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
عليكم السلام.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good night.
Thank you, Doctor, for your time.
Bye-bye.